2016 was a very eventful year as far as business entities was concerned. We had demonetization, we had GSTs, discussions on GST. We have seen a lot of app-based business coming up, and we have also seen disruptive competitions like Geos getting into and disturbing the entire ecosystems. And then we have seen Uber and Ola disturbing the taxi thing. So there are a lot of things taking place in this marketing context. We would like to start with a discussion. We would like to see what are the key driving forces that is taking place in your respective industry. Are these changes facilitators or are these changes speed breakers?
So if you look at last 5-6 years, the change which happened in 5-6 years is much bigger than what we have seen probably in the last 30-50 years. So the last 5-6 years was a complete 360-degree change in our industry specific. Okay, what is the key thing which I would like to talk here? One would be the change from the focus which changed from products to the transaction. What I mean to say is companies like us, we were telling about various banking products and advertising, going to the market, saying that okay, this product is better than that. So last 2-3 years it changed because customers also understood that many of these products are similar. So what was the differentiator which we wanted to bring in to the customers? So it is the transaction. How different can the transaction experience be? Every financial company and bank started thinking like that. It started with the online transactions, online trading systems, online trading platforms in our industry. And if you look at banking, it is how latest the technology is, how customer friendly this online transactions happens is. So that is the change which happened in our industry specifically. Talking specifically about my company, we are one of the first companies who introduced online software trading of stocks. This started in the year 2000.
You got selfies.
Yeah, selfie. 2000. And in the year 2010, we are the first company in India to introduce app-based mobile trading. So one of the points I would like to highlight is that innovation which we did in the most critical area of business actually helped us a bit. So the change in our industry is primarily the shift from products to the transaction. We wanted to give the best trading platforms. We wanted to give the entire banking experience, entire trading experience on your phone. A lot of money was spent in building world-class products and to market them. So the shift from products to this platform is one of the biggest change which happened.
It shift from product to a process. Process is much more very important in terms of reducing the time and making it very convenient to the consumers.
Exactly. That shift is the biggest thing which happened in banking and finance industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And now we will listen to Ameen. Because you are the driving force who have affected the entire industry, digital marketing. You are digitalizing the entire context is what the hype of this time. So how do you look at it? What are the changes taking place in the digital marketing industry?
The biggest change that I have seen here is the share of wallet change. If I give you like so much money and say, dude, go spend this money in marketing a product or service, earlier you would say, okay, let me put an ad on TV, let me put an ad on radio, let me put an ad on print, and then we are done. New product done. But today, the shift of this spend to online is only increasing. It started from 1%, reached 5%, now it's 20%. Why is this shift? Any quick guesses on why is this shift from offline to online? As a marketer, you're expected to spend money that gives you returns, that gives you access, which means, why is the shift happening to digital? If you are getting into digital jobs, this is the only term you need to know, it's called reach. The term is reach. Every channel spends is attracted by the reach a particular channel provides, and today we are talking about 400 million people who are online, and Geo was added up, and just because of the example, Jio's added 100 million people in the last 1.5 months to 2 months from the time of introduction in terms of new subscribers. So first change, digital is enabling increased reach of your audience. That's the first thing that you should remember. Second, this reach has opened up a new world of availability of data. Which means, have you heard of this 50% of my marketing budget is wasted? I just don't know which half. This is the standard challenge marketers have faced, that I don't have access to sufficient data to measure if my spends are effective or not. So your second change is digital gives you access to data with which you can actually understand which has effect upon your marketing spends and which doesn't. And all of this translates to the jobs that are outside there, right? And third is the amount of money that is being pumped into the industry expecting future benefits of this reach and data. Do you all know what OYO rooms do as a business? Have you heard of OYO rooms? Yes? No? What is OYO?
Online booking network.
Online booking. Does OYO owner, does he own any hotels? What does he do? He just goes to tier 1, tier 2 places, expects a standard set of offering across all these hotels. He's built a network offline. You know what it's valued at right now? It's valued at $1 billion. It's valued at $1 billion and they're expecting funding from SoftBank. Now, how is this money getting pumped into all of this? It's because of the expected, as we say, as the expected value of a customer once we have more reach in a future point in time. Which is why every Indian grown startup today is happy surviving with a loss. Flipkart, 17,000 crores in revenue, 5,000 crores in loss. The only company that's making profit is, you must have seen this, Book My Show. 3 crores on a 250 crores revenue. So you understand that all these losses are in view of the future of digital coming and capturing more access to people, giving data for measurement, and therefore making sure a marketer's life is that much smarter. Thank you.
Yes, I mean, education. So there are a lot of changes taking place in terms of marketing of management education. So
we are noticing a lot of changes even in management sector, management education also. One thing, I read an article recently wherein I found one of the interesting changes which happened over a period of time is the increase in number, maybe the increase in terms of quantity rather than quality which happened in management education also. You will see a lot of mushrooming B schools all around the whole globe. So there is an increase in number rather than or increase in quantity rather than the quality which happens even in management education. A challenge which we face even in management institution or even any other education institution is the experience and employability. These are the two key words which I would say give to the management institute as well as the education institutions. Be convinced about what is happening in institutes, what is happening in the educational institutions, whether it is a school or a college. So these experience and these employability kind of practices, what is the training and molding happening here, should pass it to the consumer, that the leads or the people, the students who are the aspiring people who would be coming to management institutes or any college. So we should focus on branding. We should focus on convincing people on what is happening or what is the experience here. That is more important, because the word of mouth, I strongly believe the word of mouth publicity will give only the inputs to the colleges.
Prof.Samson, now, Mr. Ravindranath, do you have any quick summary on what about your industry? What are the changes that take place in the advertisement and media industry in a nutshell?
Branding and advertising industry, also there are so many specializations now, because even advertising as such, that industry has disintegrated. Now you can see a lot of other pop-ups like digital communications company, events management company, then market research company, like that web analytics company. There are so many specializations. In fact, companies which are going to a digital specialist for digital communication, maybe a media buying agency for buying media, all that is happening in this industry also, and the consumer. See, consumer is ultimately the most important person. We need to understand the consumer very well, and I can also tell you that there are so many exciting opportunities for you in the field of marketing as well as in branding, because
Good information now, advertisement industry is moving to a specialist rather than a generalist. Now with that we just move to the another topic that we would like to discuss about competition. We see a lot of competition taking place and then redefining competition itself. We have heard a term called red ocean as well as blue ocean, where there is cutthroat competition in it. But in a red ocean itself, Jio could see a blue ocean and they have tapped it. All your Uber could see a very blue ocean. Now, how do you see the competition? Is the rule of the game changing? Now we see that
Competition is actually really up there, you know, and financial services brands are not built overnight. Unlike many of these, apps which come, some of the latest new generation products can be built overnight with advertising and a new concept. But for a financial service brand to establish, it takes time. It's getting established only with the trust which customers place on us, because we are dealing with money, we are dealing with the entire savings of a person. So normally, one of the most important aspects which we should focus on is to have a clean slate and to help customers grow their money. That's how we have differentiated from the competition. Another challenge, coming to my company, it's a 30-year-old company. In the 30 years of our existence, even the promoters believe that even if we make a little less money, the customer should not lose money. So that is a differentiator which a financial services company should have. Unless and until customers are not making money, we don't exist. So how do we differentiate from the competition? If you look at again 3-4 years, one of our biggest competition is coming from banks. We are typically a stockbroking and financial services company. But now every bank has a platform to invest in stocks. So what is the differentiator? We had to think differently at that point in time, and we realized that bigger companies like ICICI and HDFC, they are all having platforms. So how are we different from them? It gave us a thought that we should focus more on research, because people who are investing in stocks will need a lot of information on the fundamentals of the company, on the technical aspects of the company, and how a particular industry may fare in a particular season. So it requires a dedicated research team to study that and then communicate to our clients. Banks typically don't have that strength because they are primarily into banking. So the stock trading and investing in stocks is just one of the products for banks. So we found it as the key area where we should focus. That to a large extent helped us because we have a full-fledged research department which is helping our clients to invest in right stocks and make money. Another area probably I would like to highlight here is we should not tell customers, this is how you should trade, or this is the mode of transaction which you should use. For example, all of us are talking about the emergence of digital platform. But it is not right to go and tell every customer that, to go into a 70-year-old customer and say that, sir, you should now trade through app. That's the wrong strategy. Because we have customers who are from 20 years of age till about 95 years of age. I personally know customers who are 95 and still trading. 90, not 95. So we need to have different platforms and different facilities for all of these customers. That's another big way to differentiate. For example, our customers can invest in through us using the call center. We have a call center. If you are not a very app-oriented person, you can always call our call center and say that, okay, this is the product I want to buy, this is what I want to sell. We also have a facility where customers can call the branch. So that there are people who don't really want to talk to robot sounding call center executives. So there are people who really want to talk to a person. I want to talk to boss and take his opinion. You know, there are a lot of customers like that. So we have understood that there are different preferences. So for such people, they can call a branch manager and say that this is the product I want to invest. What are your inputs? So branch manager will give the inputs. There are different set of people who are extremely skeptical about doing a financial transaction on code. They feel, you know, if I transact a 50 lakh rupees on phone, is it safe? You know, there are many people who think like that. For such people, they are more comfortable doing it on a computer. So there is a computer platform where customers can come and transact. And of course, there is mobile. So what I am trying to tell here is, understand your customer segment correctly and have different things which they require. So
In your industry.
Alright. See, if I go ask my dad or my mom during their times, how many brands do they know? They would just count out, 10 brands, 15 brands. I just asked the same question back to you guys. How many brands do you know? The list is endless. Every day there's a new brand coming and trying to entice you to that we are offering this product or this service, and we want to appeal to this need of you. We want to appeal to this use case to you so that we want to be the preferred choice. Agree or disagree? Which means we as consumers have evolved to be disloyal. There is no more a question of loyalty. Loyalty is to who gives me the better product, better service, and so on and so forth. Which means competition has a new definition, which, just like borrowing Mr. Ravindran's slide on convergence, today we agree for each service that there are at least 6 or 7 applications which provide the same service, and there's only more and more new people coming in, right? We are leading or going or heading towards a world of convergence where a service is plugged into all the service providers and your mobile will just be an access to choose the best of them automatically. You don't even have to sit and choose. Acha, today should I take Uber or Ola? You know what? Today all you'll have in your mobile in the future is book me a cab. It will figure out which all service providers are plugged into this and will choose whichever gives the cheapest for that particular service is going to book your cab. That's the world of convergence we are heading towards. Which means no more brands can afford to tell stories that is expected to stick. Brands now have to just understand. I think even Vipin told about research, how we need to do research, how we need to understand our customers, how we need to cater the product or service according to different segments of people. And this is what we are heading to, data-driven convergence. Which means there will come a point where loyalty is not going to be there. The choice is going to be made by a system based on parameters that's useful to you. Then the only way you can survive as a brand is to just go thumbs up on listening. And in the world of digital, where data is flowing with respect to every individual person and segments that we've defined, this is the true power back to the market.
Okay, so
Able to survive, what is going to happen, you'll see, you will have to stick a board ready for sale. So this is what is going to happen in most of the institutes. If they are unable to meet or deliver their promises, that is what is not happening in institutes. Like many of the institutes floating around us, which you can see, there are a lot of promises which they make, but unable to deliver this promise. They will tell a number of things, but unable to deliver this promise. That is what is happening in the industry, especially in MBA Institute or even other schools or colleges. A lot of promises. See, I'll ask a question to many of the institutes that are they delivering what is promised? So that is why they are unable to come up with a competition here or unable to attract the students or consumers to the institutes. I strongly believe these are two fundamental things.
yes, thank you, sir. Now, advertisement industry, as you rightly point out, is moving from generalist to specialist. So, if that is the case, how do you see the competition? Is it diminishing?
As a full service agency, we used to offer marketing strategy, we used to offer brand communication strategy, brand creative strategy and creative solutions, media strategy and media solutions, then of course all various kinds of production solutions like printing, printed stuff, doing creatives, all that, then doing films, all that. Now the problem is that for strategy development there is an organization, they will only work on strategy. There are organizations which will work only on media planning, media buying and all. There are creative boutiques. Those are small teams of creative people. They will only work on creatives. And there is a media release agency which will do the media. And film production house, they will do the film. Then printer will do the printing. So like that it is getting disintegrated. But of course there is a problem. There won't be any kind of synergy if 5 people are doing all these 5 jobs. Only very few clients are realizing now that if the brand is quite big and if they have got a reasonable budget, I think ideally they should go to a full service agency which will be able to offer all these services. Only the advantage is that
Discussion, consumer value. How do you get insights on consumer value perception? Vipin sir.
Okay, let us understand one thing. With the advent of technology, what really happened is we have empowered customers. We have empowered customers to the highest degree, which means they have choice. You know, they have become more demanding. Okay, they are extremely demanding, and at times they are impatient also, because we have spoiled, like he said, we have spoiled them a little bit. Companies needs to be very careful about their strategies, understanding what they have to tell about a product. So that study and that research is all the more very important. Another important point I want to highlight here is businesses needs to be extremely transparent. How this transparency comes? In our case, what we have actually done is we have 2 kinds of research which happens in our organization. One is to our existing clients. We have about 9 lakh clients all across the country. So on a constant basis, we take feedback from them. We have an emailer system which is linked to an app called SurveyMonkey. I'm sure some of you have heard about it. SurveyMonkey is an app, is a software, is a system which helps feedback to take feedback from customers. So we use it very effectively. And the other is we take brand surveys. That is also to non-customers on what our non-customers think about a brand like Geojit in a particular place. So this gives us a lot of insights. So this is a regular affair. The brand survey normally happens once in 2 years in our organization, and customer surveys every time we launch a new product. Every time we make a change in a product, we go back to clients and ask. Typically, we use the email systems and SurveyMonkey for this particular surveys. Coming to the value proposition specifically, we believe in being a customer-centric organization. We don't really make, or rather, we don't promote products. In our industry, we need to understand what a customer wants and then work around. There are 2 kinds of customers now.
Customer as to what he would be paying you over the duration of time till the end of his life, right? I was working with a leading online retail brand on the analytics part back in London, and when the first meeting, I'm meeting the CMO, and the guy says, my cost of acquisition that I'm willing to spend for getting a paying customer is 40 pounds. However, I am willing to spend up to 150 pounds if you can get me a guy who buys big ticket items. Because this online retail brand was all about luxury fashion items, which their least thing was 100 pounds, their highest thing can go all the way up to 1,000 pounds. In offline, it's not possible. You don't know if, can I look at some of you and find out, oh, you can pay more, oh, you can't pay that much, you can pay more, no, you can't. Whereas in online, now I have access that this particular, again anonymous, I don't know your name, I don't know where you're from, but I know this online user is capable of a big purchase. which means I can chase that guy to get him as my paying customer as against a low value customer. So step one is based on high ticket items or order value or average transaction size as we call it. This is one way to put a value and put a value to the acquisition that you go on for. Why do we have referrals? Why do we have customer feedback, testimonials? All of this, you're putting a dollar, you're able to put a dollar value today and thereby push marketers to use the people that they've acquired in a much more effective way. That's the second part. And the last thing that I want to leave with you with respect to customer, like value as we are saying, as we need to understand, it's also the interactions that they make online. Now if a guy comes, today the only measurement that we do is guy made a purchase, that's it. But we are talking of a lot of micro conversions before the actual conversions. The guy came and read my white paper. The person came and checked out my brochure. Which means I'm actually putting a small dollar value in each of these conversion points, which eventually total up to the total value that we're demanding from that person. So always, in summary, ensure that you understand the intersection between qualitative and quantitative, put a value on these micro conversions, and understand what percentage of the customers are coming from organic and paid media.
Okay, does it mean that if you want to know yourself more, you better ask to Google or Facebook? They will tell you who you are rather than you understand about yourself.
It's surprising they know more about you than you know about yourself. That's the point that where you've reached. Yeah.
Yes. Now, because of the time constraint, we're just clubbing some of the points and then we're just giving this platform open to the audience. Otherwise,
see, if you want to be into the competition or in the competition, you should be customer centered and believe in the customers. Keep your promises, whatever brand promises you are giving, deliver those promises. Should be customer centric. That is what is happening even in the education industry also. Even our 15 years, 20 years back, the new thing into the marketing was CR, customer relationship marketing. I would advise
specialist. Now, sir, look from financial advice to these marketers.
Marketing has actually changed forever after this technology, taking over. So, 2 or 3 quick things I want to tell you is you will have to embrace the technology to be a successful marketer in the future. In olden days, 15 to 20 years back, you just need to be, you are more an artist as a marketer. Now you are more a scientist, you need to effectively use the technology and then, go ahead in marketing. Second point I would like to say is, like sir advised, customer should be always at the center of your thought. Once that is your basic principle, most of your campaigns will yield you results. Third point is, this again which I learned, one of my biggest challenges when I started as a marketer was the ROI. Like you rightly mentioned, the technology has helped us a lot in that. Earlier when we do a campaign, we didn't have a lot of metrics to establish to the CFO that yes, I have spent X amount of money from the company. So how do I justify the results? So that was a big challenge in the earlier days. But in the coming days, I feel that it's going to be a lot more easier because 99% of the digital campaigns can be measured. So that is ROI consciousness is very important for a marketer because you will be a spender in the organization. You'll have to sell your concepts to the organization and then get it implemented. One last advice, maybe you should. You will have to market in an organization. You will have to market a product. You will have to market your organization. You will have to market your departments within the organization, and you will have to market yourself. That will make a complete marketing professional. Thank you.
That is what is known as holistic marketing. I would like to put it like that. Now, Ameen, what is your final word or final advice?
Right, I'm just going to break the advice into 2-3 points. But the first point is to start unlearning what you know. The 4 P's of marketing, Porter's process, is going to become just 1 P, and that P is people. right? You have to center everything around people, so you have to start understanding people, and for you to be able to understand people, you should become storytellers. Everyone loves a story, and that's how they immerse in your brand. And no more can you set definitions of brand should be. You have to continuously see how you can evolve as a brand based on the people that you're connected with. And third, please understand, learn the ecosystem, the digital ecosystem to start with. How every dollar of an advertiser spend is consumed by different channels, consumed by different elements of this part, so that you understand where can you add value. Just for reference, I can direct you, just Google for display LumaScape. LumaScape is like this big little sheet that comes together with a whole bunch of companies and a whole bunch of components that makes up this ecosystem. That will give you an idea of what the ecosystem is. So unlearn, be great storytellers, understand people, and learn the ecosystem. Cheers.
Thank you so much, the panelists. Now we will just listen to the audience. Can I know, is there anybody who wants to shoot a question to any one of the panel members?
And make people consumers. You need to get your functionality right. You need to get your value right. And of course, on top today, you have a digital channel that allows you to reach that many people. And as long as it costs money, it is not free. It's just like, it's of course much cheaper than offline media as far as I can characterize, but you still need money, and Paytm is burning a lot of investment money to get that kind of reach that they're getting today. And of course, they have done their homework also in reaching to all the places where this can be used. You go to a toll booth, there is a scanner, the QR code is there. You go to, then people are given with benefits. They have always taken us through a journey of cashbacks and stuff, etc. There is a certain story we have of Paytm. And that's what they managed to do with you. But for any other new ones, you definitely need at least investment. I mean, you can say, you can definitely.
I'll just add on a point to it. Paytm's success is the success of advertising. They have pumped in money, they have made them visible. So probably they are much ahead of the other competitors. But I would also like to add a point here. The whole concept of a mobile wallet can be a little tricky in future. This is not only my opinion, even the HDFC CEO, Mr.P had mentioned this. The whole thinking is you are transferring money to a mobile wallet and then making the transaction. So we have an app called MIIM app, which is again introduced by the government of India, which allows bank-to-bank transfer. When you have an app which allows you to transfer from your bank to his bank, but you need a mobile wallet which makes you transfer your money to a third party and then transact. So that business model may face a little bit of challenge from bank to bank transaction, just based on did anybody of you use this MIIM app? MIIM app, okay. It's a government of India initiative with just a mobile number, all of that QR code scanning, I can do the transfer. And I find it much better than Paytm. I personally use both.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
All about this consumer centrism and this consumer insights and all. So actually there is something called consumer tailorism, right sir? So what is the point regarding consumer tailorism?
Yes. Micro marketing and individual marketing. So now can you just share your experience on what are your initiatives that Geojit has taken to address that individual consumer value?
Well, it's a good question. There are two aspects to it. One aspect I actually covered in one of the topics, wherein it's not, I wouldn't say it's for every customer. All what we can do is we can do it for a segment. With my consumer understanding, with my research, with my market surveys, I classify them into different segments, and I may have solutions for particular segments. Yes, that's definitely important. And as a marketing strategy, our organization believe that we have a very strong regional marketing team, which is based out of every state. We are not trying to push a particular campaign which worked in Delhi. I'm not sure that that campaign will work in Chennai, because customers are different, their expectations are different. So I think a regional marketing strategy is one answer to it, which is understanding the local market, their aspirations, and giving products and solutions accordingly. Second is classifying the customers into different segments and then giving a set of products and solutions accordingly.
I think the number of segments are increasing. Earlier from 100, if you have only 4 segments, now the digital kind of facilities, you can divide the 100 into 25 segments, small segments, instead of addressing that into one-to-one marketing.
Exactly, that really helped. But
In the online world, in the digital world, there's a concept called DCO, Dynamic Creative Optimization, where you can define unlimited segments of people based on the characteristics that is available to you, and you can show them real-time a message based on who is seeing your ad or who is seeing a brand exposure. This is possible today. What is possible in the future? Are there times where you've seen a movie and you wished it had a happy ending? Or you wish it didn't end as happy as it was? Tomorrow you will be able to see a movie that has an ending that is tailored to your interests.
Wow, that is
That's
really
very
interesting. That is really interesting. You will have different climaxes for a same movie based on your taste and preferences. That's why last word would be consumers' values that keep on changing. The landscape of marketing is also keep on changing. I think there is a scope for this seminar in the coming years as well. So we will see in the next version of changing landscape of marketing with same panel members or new panel members with new topics emerging. There we will see whether this customized climaxes takes place, and one day that will also happen. Thank you very much for being with us. We are a wonderful audience and a very personality.